Hello, everyone. We're on episode 5 now. That's crazy. It's already episode 5. So I'm probably going to be uploading every 3 days now that I'm kind of getting a groove. I think 3 is really good. I just uploaded this one late, but the next one will still come 2 days from now, which should have been 3 days. It makes sense, I swear. So today I did a video talking about the opener. You'll hear the opener in full. It's really awesome. I'm super proud of the work that me and Izzy did on that, so I'm super happy about that. And then my actual recital take is in this because I did a run through of the recital in the previous episode, but that wasn't the one I actually submitted. This one was much better. Scales are a lot more accurate. There's a lot more cleanliness in the music itself. So that was just an overall much better take. And then also, I did some other just playing of other solos, other things like that. Just some miscellaneous playing, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah, enjoy episode 5. All right, hello everyone. This is the final, not the final, but this is the first draft of the opener for the show that me and Izzy are writing, and I'm very proud of the work that we put into this. It's not perfect. There's still some things that I think we want to perfect. But I feel like it's a first draft to get some ideas on the page and really have some kind of journey. I'm really happy with it. It actually started just with this. It started with this melody. So it's dun dun da da dun dun da dun da da dun da 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 da. It just started with that. Initially, I sang it in D flat, but then we had to transpose it so it's not in a terrible key. So and after that, I wrote it for brass quintet and fleshed out some of the parts. So I added this horn part, these two harmonized lines in the trombone and the trumpet too, and then a bass part with the tuba. So then we did that. We had that. We didn't really flesh the entire arrangement out, so we kind of jumped later. We actually took this eighth note line from the Wild Goose, which sounds like. Sorry, I was using my keyboard to probably hear the clicking, and it wasn't completely in time. But we used that line and we looped it, and then initially we just had these big chords in the woodwinds, just these chords, but it was lacking something else. We were like, we need to have something else. So we wanted to have a running eighth note line, but I feel like just having those straight eighth notes might be a little hard. So what we did was we made two different versions of it. We had ba da 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 da, and then we had da 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 da. So the entire eighth notes are there. It's just you play the dotted quarters in the bar where you're not playing the eighth notes, and together you kind of get like this. So it kind of comes together. And then we have these big stab chords. Actually, these stab chords kind of came near the end. I was thinking there needs to be some impact. I just kind of put these chords in the brass of the woodwinds, and I was like, okay, that sounds good. We just kind of left it there. And one of the ideas that we had initially, but it took us a while to finally find a place for it, is this. We want to have some kind of like whistle, because the idea was that we were calling the pirates to the ship. And yeah, it's about pirates, if you couldn't tell. We couldn't hear. So we wanted to have something, and we decided to use the piccolo. So we had this. So that's a really cool effect. And then going into this little duet that we have between the flute and the clarinet. I think we want to flesh this out a bit more because the phrase seems kind of abrupt. But it's a really good start. It's a canon, so I really like the interplay. Then you'll hear it. I'll play this for you. And one of my favorite things is I actually added this bass drum part. It's freaking awesome. Because we were also trying to take the idea from Wild Goose of this accelerando with the English horn and the bass drum in the original piece. So we kind of took it and we had to kind of just divide this out and put this here, which I'm going to line up. Actually, it doesn't line up with the clarinet edges. Never mind. But I think especially when it gets to like here with tom, 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 leading into the big moment with the stabs and then the eighth note line. I think that works really well, and I was really happy with how that turned out. So then the last thing, this phrase actually came first. So this phrase, work. Why won't you play? Please play. There we go. That phrase, bum ba-dum ba-da-da-dum ba-dum 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 ba-dum, that kind of came somewhat naturally, and we had a feeling that this was a good phrase to lead into the impact that we had played earlier, or that we first made. And then we were trying to find some kind of intermediary phrase, because after the woodwinds, in this eighth note line, there's a decrescendo, and we're like, what do we want to put here? Because if we just did this, decrescendo, 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 it's like, what should we have there? There needs to be something else before, instead of just jumping into this phrase. So what we did was we actually took the duet, the clarinet duet from the beginning, took it and put in the trumpets. They put in this harmonized line with the euphonium and the trumpet 3. I actually really like this line. Then some just bass notes. I think really the thing that drives it is the dynamics. So you'll hear it decrescendos and then crescendos into the next phrase. And I really think the thing that seals the deal on this phrase, and at first I was kind of iffy about it, but this is the really thing that sealed the deal for me, is this movement. The G's to the A and the F to the E and the C sharp. That leading tone that resolves up to that D is great. I'll play it like ah there. Da da da, like that resolution just sounds great. I didn't want to have it in too many voices. I wanted to be just subtle enough where when you hear the resolution, you're like, oh, okay, there you go. The horns love us because we added a bunch of rips and they sound great. And we knew that this phrase wanted to lead into the next one, but we actually thought leaving some space. If there's some kind of visual fill, like a turn or some kind of battery fill, it'd be great. So after the rip, off, and then into the impact. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Actually, also, we really liked this eighth note line. Going into the end. So we really wanted to emphasize it. So we basically gave like all the woodwinds this eighth note line because actually on brass it's not too bad, but we wanted to focus on having some of the dotted quarters and the weight of the ton 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 ton. I actually meant to put some accents on these notes, but it's okay. So yeah, honestly, the opening impact is the thing that I'm really like, yeah, that seals the deal. But everything about this sounds really good, and I'm super happy with it. Some things also that doesn't come across super well is like the articulation. Sometimes these stab chords and the brass are like super clipped and they sound kind of strange. But yeah, I think that's about it in terms of like the process and all of those things. So yeah, here is the entire opener.